Hello YouTube, Trucker Todd here, and today we're going to talk about everybody's favorite subject, ELDs. Now, as you know, I have the Rand McNally HD 100 and I hate it with a passion. That does not necessarily mean I hate ELDs with a passion. The big question and concern is a lot of people say you can't make money with ELDs, you can't get miles with ELDs. The ELD's restricting me. But I've already shown one video a few weeks ago where I had 3,800 miles in that 8 days. And I'm going to show you this evening my other logs for the last 8 days. And you'll see the miles on there. I'll just go ahead and tell you it's 3877 again. So what I'm finding is that I can still run about 3,800 miles or so. I could probably actually get closer to 4,000. Now, obviously, some of it depends where you're running, what you're hauling, things like that. But in this video, I'm going to tell you some of the things that I do to get those miles. Now, I do this perfectly legal. I still pre-trip, I still post-trip. I still log my fuel as I fuel it. But there are some things you can do to optimize your ELD and get the most bang for your buck, per se. So let's take a look at the logs and then we'll jump right into these subjects. Okay, here's my logs for the last 8 days. For those that have never seen this before, I've done this once before. Over here is the dates. Sorry, I'm having to point backwards. Here beside it is the miles. There's my off-duty time, sleeper berth time, driving time, and on-duty time. On duty it'd be pre-trip, post-trip, dropping and hooking, fueling, and things like that. Sorry, it's updating again. It'll be right back up. There it goes. You can see my highest day in the last 8 days was 675 miles, and my lowest day looks like it might have been 277. Now, during that time, I did stop and go see my family in Amarillo, and we ate at the Big Texan, so this wasn't just running as hard as I could. But if you total up those miles there, it comes out to 3877. And so I just wanted everybody to see this, and now we'll get back to the video. So now that you've seen my logs, let's talk about them a little bit. What are some things I do to get those miles? Well, one thing, I run at night a lot, and what that does is get you through the big cities a lot quicker because there's a lot less traffic. I'm like you, I prefer to run days, but I pick these loads up a lot of times at night, and I drive during the night and early morning because I can maximize my miles. There's less traffic jams, things like that. So as you saw with the 3877 this week, it is still possible to get your miles, but I also have a lot of drop and hook, and that helps a lot too. Waiting in docks will kill you. As you saw when I was at Robert Heath, the dock time just ate me alive and made it real hard to make a living. So that brings another question up. You know, every time we get into a logbook discussion, everybody wants to run more hours. 70 is just not enough. Now think about that for a second. If you can't make a living working 70 hours in 8 days, is the problem really your logbook? Most people work 40 to 50 hours a week. If you're working almost twice that and not making a living, maybe the problem is the company you're working for or your lifestyle out on the road. If you eat in the truck stop 3 times a day, yeah, $20 a meal, and then you go to the casino all the time, and I mean, you can blow through your check, and that's nobody's fault but your own. So you have to be responsible with your time and your money. You can't drag race from truck stop to truck stop. You have to keep that door closed. I try to drive as much of my 8 as I can before I take my 30-minute break. Or at the very least, I try to drive enough of it that on the second leg of my driving, I can complete the rest of the 8 hours. I set a goal of at least 600 to 650 miles a day because that's where you want to be. So, yes, you can make money with electronic logs. Yes, you have to be a good manager of your time. I remember when I started at Swift. Now, this was back in 1996. I was getting 20 cents a mile, and the trucks only ran 57 miles an hour. Now, you could still get 2,800, 3,000 miles a week, but you couldn't do it by stopping all the time. You had to run your time out. And I guess it prepared me for electronic logs. So anyway, this was a normal week. I had multiple stops. So I had some live loading and unloading. I had time off. I went home for roughly 24 hours. I'm running out to Los Angeles now because I've got to get back to Texas for Thanksgiving. And so even with the adversity that being on the road throws at you, you can still make money out here with electronic logs. And you can do it legally. There's no need to cheat. I saw a video where a guy was trying to figure out how to cheat his ELD, and he unplugged it and drove so far and came back to the exact same spot and plugged it in and thought he had got away with it. But what he didn't realize is it still tracks your miles. It knows your odometer reading all the time. So even when you unplug it, it knows the odometer reading when you unplug it, and it knows the odometer reading when you plug it back in. So the best thing for everyone to do is just run legal. I mean, if you want to see trucker rates come up, if you want to make more money, we've got to run legal so that they can have something to gauge it by. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but it really is true. You know, we always hear, since I started, I've been hearing, let's have a trucker strike. Let's do this. I remember when the speed limit was 55, people would say, we should all just run 55 for a while and see how the country likes it when freight runs down. Exactly. Run legal and let the country see what the consequences of their regulations are. If AB5 out in California bothers you, let California see what the consequences of AB5 are. Quit going to California. Now notice I'm on a load going to California now, but I only took it as a way to get home for Thanksgiving. As a general rule, I try to avoid California, especially after the last debacle out there. But anyway, I'm going to keep this one short also. Have a great night. Good grief, my tongue is not working. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There's more coming. And give me a thumbs up. It helps us in that YouTube algorithm to get seen by more people. And share this video, especially if you know some old truck driver that's complaining about ELDs, or maybe if you know somebody that quit driving when ELDs came out. I know a lot of people hung up their CDL when ELDs came out. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Have a great night. Bye-bye.